Heyo, so immediately after finishing one video, I'm jumping right into this next one, and then all of December will be filmed. And last week's video was my father-in-law's gift, and now we are moving on to my mother-in-law's. And again, have my paint, have my canvas, which actually is a canvas tote bag, by the way. It's so cute. And literally the palette of fresh paint I just finished the other one with, but we are jumping right into the next one. I'm at a time crunch. I have an hour and like 10 minutes to finish this. Let's go. Alright, so now we are jumping into my mother-in-law's gift, and since I had the fabric paint, I figured I would go that route so I can do this all one day. And I figured I would make her a tote bag so she can go shopping. Now, I know last week I mentioned that I was going to talk about how I got banned from Instagram, and at the time of recording, which is 30 seconds after I finished the last voiceover, it might have been back up. You'll know in the description. I am currently banned from Instagram, but I'm going to talk about this painting a little bit first. My mother-in-law is a giant fan of, I almost said The Lord of the Rings. That's not what I was going for. What's the one that South Park made fun of? Oh my god. Game of Thrones. I guess they also did make fun of Lord of the Rings, let's be real, but they made fun of Game of Thrones more. But yeah, my mother is a huge Game of Thrones fan, and I decided that I wanted to do a castle scene on a tote bag. Now, the last time I did anything with like a castle was when I was using heavy body acrylics and complaining about it the entire time. But I know I wanted to do something that was more in my style and comfort zone, because with last week's video with my father-in-law's gift, that was from Iron Maiden. It's like, yes, I like Iron Maiden, don't get me wrong, but that style is not my style. So I figured if I did something more in my style, like girl to girl, I'd be way more comfortable with it. So I decided to, first of all, Google what the fuck I can paint in Game of Thrones that isn't a 4,000 foot dragon with detailed scales all over, or whiny little twinks and their goddamn crowns and shit. So when I was googling it, it's like, oh, castle, like I said, because the last time I painted anything with like castles and all that. So I found a castle that doesn't look like it's in the middle of fucking winter bullshit, fuck you, and it's the castle of Highgarden according to this Reddit post. Because I was googling castles and everyone's like, oh, this castle's my favorite, and I'm like, okay, that one please. So I started off with like the green meadow because I'm like, this is really pretty, I love like the meadow vibe, so super excited to get that down. And then this is where I come in and realize that I'm not really good at painting castles. They just kind of low-key look like wieners. And as it dried, it's more apparent that the castle is not as defined as in the show. But it's in the distance, it's supposed to be like blurry. That's kind of the aesthetic I was going for, but I can't really fix it now. So we're gonna have to roll with it now that I'm looking at the actual reference of the castle. Because when I painted this, I was like, hell yeah, this looks pretty good. And I'm like, oh no. I got the mixing the green because I only had one green in this whole Tulip fabric paint. And it was just like green, just green, okay. No other definition, so I was mixing it with like yellow, I was mixing it with brown, I was mixing it with red and blue, just to get a bunch of different variations for the meadow itself. Some hills in the back, I did the sky with some different clouds, like just wanted a bunch of like stuff out in the distance. And this one also has 2 pieces of cardboard in it, and at first I didn't put any cardboard in it because I forgot, and then the paint started to seep through, especially on the meadow because I was so paint heavy. But I figured it's canvas, it wouldn't go through, it went through, but it's fine. Once I got the castle in the background, you know, added some quick details with like the blue tops because that's like the Highgarden references. I have different towers. What are they? What are those things that hang down in like barbershops? Awnings, that kind of stuff. Shaded up some little textures here and there. I was looking at it, I'm like, this looks okay. Now what the fuck do I do? Because I was like, I don't want to just leave the meadow. I'm like, it's Game of Thrones. How are you going to know it's Game of Thrones unless you put a dragon on it? So I'm like, okay. There's one thing I love about like random meadows, because I used to live in front of a small field and there would just be deer everywhere, and there was always this one big pine tree that like bunnies and deer would lay by. So I decided to just paint a dragon laying under a tree. Like he found shade under this tree and just decided to take a nap. This proves I know basically nothing about Game of Thrones. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. Like, you look at this and tell me that I've ever seen Game of Thrones. But I like the way that it's like more my style with like the whimsy and the aesthetics. And this was like one of the last few days I had before I got banned on Instagram. I know I mentioned it last week, but I'm still so mad about it. I woke up at 3 in the morning, December 13th, to check my messages because my brother-in-law had sent me a meme and I was banned. It said my account was suspended and I needed to like submit an appeal and blah blah blah. So I submitted an appeal, I submitted an ID check, and at the time of recording it's like 4 days later, still nothing. But when I checked the email to see why I got suspended, it said for child sexual exploitation. I'm sorry, like what? I don't really draw, first of all, I don't draw children, and if I do draw children, they're literally the kids of my characters, and they're usually like playing with like stuffed animals, like that kind of stuff. I don't draw NSFW at all. At worst, you're gonna see like Viriana or Casper with like a hickey or like a shirtless trans man, but that's it. So it's just like, what the fuck do you mean that there are bitches out there who can draw Baldi's Basics with hips wider than any fucking man you've ever seen, tits and hips that are equal with pencil thin waist. I'm still talking about that one person from my Lucy Fur video. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Like, she can basically post porn. She has bragged about incest relationships, defended racism, fetishizes trans and gay men. But my account, who maybe sees 2 likes every post from my fiance and my own sister, gets banned on child sexual exploitation. Are you fucking joking? So I mentioned last week, I have Blue Sky, so I'm using Blue Sky now, and it's like, I don't know how to, I kind of know how to use this app, not really. I'm learning slowly. All I know about this app is that it's mostly like fucking, there's just a lot of stuff. Like, I can just be scrolling. It's like, here's a cute work in progress of like a gremlin art. Here's a post about that shooting that happened in Australia. Here's a girl with dick and balls and her tits out with a diaper on, even though you have safe search on. I don't get it, but it's fine, I guess. So am I just gonna be mad about being banned on Instagram? Yes, fuck, because it took down my Facebook too. Like, I can't access my fucking Facebook anymore. I had pictures of like my old dog on there, the one that passed away. Like, family photos I'm not gonna be able to get back if this fucking account does not get back. Like, I'm so fucking angry over this, but it's whatever. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Here is the canvas bag for my mother-in-law that has Game of Thrones vibe with nothing to do with Game of Thrones. We're gonna learn as we go, but yeah, I'm mad. Check out my Blue Sky, which is down below. And also slay YouTube for coming out with a shorts editing system that's very similar to Instagram's editing system, so I can still make shorts for you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Is next week the new year? I'm recording this so late, or so. I'm just realizing now that the day this is going up is January 1st. Oopsies. Oh well, Happy New Year, guys. Bye.